Mercian guard is leaderless without Erdwulf, and the fear is disheartened and scattered.
Why not having Uhtred?
Perhaps it would be wiser to move somewhere else.
No, I remain here.
Even if that places you in danger.
She's a queen.
As queen cannot be to flee Aelisberg.
Stay with Ethel for they guard her quarters, no one is turned to without her permission.
He's already acting like the leader of Ergard.
I'm Erdwulf.
Yes. You're the Earthslicker.
What can you do with him, Brida?
Something very valuable that I can share with you. Something that will help you.
Oh, I don't like the idea of Brida being an ally with Erdwulf.
Perhaps I should be angry with him for mocking God.
He didn't.
No, I'm not.
My father is a man of strong convictions.
I think that this time, you know, he was not like, okay, if you want me to get baptized, I'm gonna get baptized. He was more like, why not? It can help.
Tests my faith.
Maybe they are not wrong.
So very clear to me now is that I must follow my calling to serve God.
You want to be a priest?
Is it a man?
No. It's a king.
Is he a good king?
Yes. Like you.
Sweet child.
Hold it. Until Mercia is in the charge of someone I trust.
You can trust you.
Ethelflaed.
Yeah.
Uhtred is done as a service.
By breaking his word and going against my wishes.
Anticipating your wishes.
6 thrones, both Wessex.
Yes.
And your father's dream of reunited England is even closer.
I love the idea.
She will be loyal to you if you allow her. She is not a threat, Edward.
She can be a good ally. Oh, that was too much, you know. Ethelstan mentioning Alfred. You seem pretty brave and clever during battle time. Do we have to be afraid of you?
I remember you laughing at Tettenhall.
Don't.
Today you were humiliated. I know how to defeat Edward. Did you kill me? Then it goes to the grave with me. And if it's not of value, then kill me.
Oh, I don't like that.
Got a hit for you, Lady of Mercia.
Oh.
You have enough men to fight your brother. What order would you like to give your army?
To not fight.
Remain calm. Fjord will remain outside, but I have no doubt that Aelisberg will soon be in Mercian control once again. Open the gates for Lord Uhtred. There is no need for them to be closed any longer.
You're such a good queen.
There need be no conflict between us.
This is not your sister being against you. This is the Queen of Mercia thinking about Mercia and also an alliance with Wessex. That was a clever move, Uhtred. To show how much the Mercians love their queen.
Where are you going?
To Wessex.
Without saying goodbye?
Alone.
Does Father know?
I've made up my mind to go. I know he'll try to stop me.
Give him the chance to understand you.
Save mine. The only way I can honour his sacrifices by serving God. But and what is it you wish to do?
Anything. Because anything is better than waiting here, bored, until I'm forced to marry someone I despise. I want to live.
Oh, I like you.
Your time will come. I'm certain of it.
I'm sad for Uhtred, you know. Give him a chance to surprise you, you know. Maybe he would have been okay. Not agreeing and cheering, but at least be okay.
As ruler, you will have impossible decisions to make. I know I've made mistakes in some of my choices.
You're recognizing
I want
it?
to see that you would-
That's the beginning, you know, of being a good king.
I'm sorry.
Our alliance is enough for me.
I also wish to discuss East Anglia. Suppose we send an army there of men from both Wessex and Mercia to maintain control.
Together, I believe we can achieve our father's dream of a united land.
Oh, you would be so proud. Don't cry, please. Just them mentioning Alfred each time I'm having tears.
Nothing from a son. He's gone, Uhtred. Gone. It is simply that God has called him away.
You can understand that now, Uhtred.
As a young man, you can be proud. When you come back,
if he's coming back, it's as a priest.
Prepared to return to Cookham. Seeing you every day. It's too painful.
That's what Eldon is doing since.
I will miss you. Uhtred Magnuson.
You were great. Together for each other. You were great.
I will always answer Mercia's call with you on the throne.
So he's not Uhtred of Mercia, he's not Uhtred of Bebbanburg, he's Uhtred of Cookham now. That's all?
I wish to talk to you about Ethelstan.
Please.
It is impossible for you to take him to Winchester. There are people there that may wish him ill.
Dead.
I would like to take charge of the boy and take him to Medwyn and raise him there as I raised you.
She wants to repair her fault.
To follow your footsteps and those of Alfred's.
Except...
Make the arrangements. I will ask Uhtred to accompany you.
Oh, see? Ethelstan and Alfred and phew, tears.
I promised I would reward you for delivering my message to Lord Uhtred. Here it is. But I am the queen now. You are my husband's mistress, and your brother killed Ethelred.
Oh, I was afraid that you will say that.
I will arrange a place for you at the nunnery where you can live and be safe.
At the nunnery?
I would prefer to find my own way.
Yes. That's a wise decision, you know, that Ethelflaed made, but you're a brave and an independent woman. She's gonna find her own path, you know, her own journey.
I did not expect to see you.
What did he tell you?
He is deterred, who will help us take Winchester without a single drop of Danish blood being shed.
Why?
I know you think we lost out on wealth and power. There's something greater than that. Please do not say our friendship.
Come on.
I will pay for your ale. And when you leave Aylesbury, you might allow me to travel with you. A safe passage.
He's taking his army to Waynesburg, leaving Winchester undefended. Only a handful of soldiers remain there, no more than that.
We will never get an opportunity like this again.
You're gonna attack Winchester now? Can it work? I mean, do you have the time to go to Winchester before Edward going back? But Uhtred's son is on his way to Winchester, no?
We leave for Winchester today.
That's a clever move, you know, for the Danes to go there. And I'm not really afraid for the people that I love because they are all in Mercia. But Uhtred's son is not. You know, all of these games of conquering some land, of, you know, all of that, it's not that I don't care, but it's more something like as long as all of the characters that I love and care about are alive, I'm okay with the situation. It's not great because people are dying, soldiers are dying, and innocent people are dying, and all of that, so that's not great. But at least the ones that I know, love, and care about are still alive. But right there, we had Uhtred's son leaving Mercia to go to Winchester, no? Oh, Brida, she doesn't know Uhtred's son. She's not gonna recognize him. I'm afraid for him now. But that's a clever move for the Danes to go to attack Winchester now. And that's gonna be also the opportunity for Mercia to prove, you know, its loyalty to Wessex by going, you know, to attack the Danes to protect Wessex. That can be the good opportunity to prove that there is an alliance, a real alliance between Wessex and Mercia. But they said, Edward and Ethelflaed, that they wanted, you know, to make a common army to take East Anglia back. So they're gonna be occupied on East Anglia when Wessex is gonna be attacked. They're gonna have to choose between letting East Anglia being taken and not defending, but taking back Wessex. I'm not sure, you know, that they can deal with the two things at the same time. They're gonna have to choose, or they're gonna have to let Wessex for some time and then take back also Wessex. But I'm not sure that, you know, Edward is gonna let that happen. Like, okay, for now we are taking East Anglia and then we're gonna take Wessex back. I think that it's gonna be more like, okay, let's abandon East Anglia for now and let's take back Wessex. I don't know, you know, I'm imagining what it can be, but at the same time they're gonna see that the Danes are moving, you know. They are now in Wales, from Wales to Wessex. You know, it's not like in 1 minute you are into the place. They are gonna see that the Danes are moving to attack Wessex. Maybe they're not gonna even go to East Anglia and they're gonna go to defend Wessex just like that. Again, it can be great because it can be the good opportunity for Mercia to prove that Wessex and Mercia are working together, are allies. Eardwulf, you know, okay, he said these informations to Brida that can serve the Danes, but I hope that it was all, you know, that they're not gonna use him again, that they're not gonna be allies with him. It's not someone that Saxons or Danes can trust, can believe into. I don't want him to be Brida's ally, you know, that can't be a good ally for Brida. I love her too much. At some point, you know, he can do something bad to Brida, maybe. If it serves, you know, his own ambition. But I was right, he didn't escape to Francia. He was still there. To do what? He was waiting for that, for an opportunity to... So Uhtred didn't take the throne of Mercia. I didn't think that Ethelflaed was gonna be against it. I can understand why now that she explained it, but at first I really didn't think about it. And I can see, you know, that it's better for Mercia to have Ethelflaed on the throne than Uhtred. But for me, he could have been a good ruler, you know, a good protector for Mercia. Still, I'm glad that he made that decision. I'm glad that Ethelflaed is the Queen of Mercia, and I can see how it's better for Mercia and also for the alliance between Mercia and Wessex, because Ethelflaed is gonna be a good queen, because Ethelflaed, you know, she's respected by the Mercian, because Ethelflaed is not gonna, you know, bend the knee each time that her brother wants to. That's gonna be great. But for Uhtred and for his men and for his own, you know, reputation and for his own also confidence in himself as a ruler, as someone that people can trust and all of that, it could have been a good thing for him. After losing Bevenberg like that, to have Mercia and to protect Mercia and to be the ruler of Mercia, it could have been something great for him, for his confidence on himself as a ruler. But he made the good decision right now. I didn't expect that, but that was great. That thing about him being baptized, I said it and I'm seeing it since seasons, his evolution with this religion is so interesting to follow and to try to understand, because really we began the season 1 with him being so disrespectful with the ones who were believing into the Christian God. He was not respecting their faith, he was interrupting them when they were praying, he was making joke about it, he was turning, you know, their faith into a joke. It was something that really annoyed me. And little by little, you know, at first he was just playing the game, okay, for them, for you, if you want me to do that and that, because you are believing into your God and you are acting like that with your God, with your religion, okay, let's do that for you. And then, you know, he was respecting it even more. He was the one who married Beoka, he was letting them pray their dead, he was letting them believing into their God, he was telling stuff like, if you are really a Christian person, you have to do that. No, your God is like that. No, you know, he was respecting their faith more and more, and that moment, you know, when he was baptized for the third time, it was different also for him. I think that it felt different also for him, because now he respects their faith and that religion, and the fact that they are thinking of their God into that way, and also because of the fact that his son have faith into that God. It was more like, okay, if you are real, you know, it was more, that moment, it was more like, if you are real, let's do that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with doing that. That's not against really what I think, because I respect their faith and I respect you as a God, so let's do that. And it was not like, I'm not mocking this faith and I'm not mocking this God, and maybe he was talking to God like, this is not my way of mocking you by doing that. This is my way of respecting you and your faith. You know, that was really something different, and I think that it felt also different for Uhtred, and I think that we are not over with that, you know. It's really like little by little is respecting more and more this faith, the ones who are believing into it, and now this God also, you know. I think that you can still evolve with that religion, with the ones who are believing into it, and also with this God. I'm not sure that at some point he's gonna accept this God, you know, as his own God, that is gonna be converted, you know, to Christianism, but I think that that's something, you know, that he's working on, because, you know, when he lost Beoka, he also said to his son, where was your God? Your God is like that? No, where was he? Like, I don't know, there is something right there. And this symbolic moment, you know, when he buried Beoka's cross, it was him respecting Beoka's faith by burying the cross into, you know, the ground like that. It was him respecting also what the cross is representing for Beoka, for the Christian God, and for the ones who are believing into that religion. That's so interesting to follow, you know, his relationship with the Christian God and with this religion since the beginning of the show. To me, who is binge watching the show from season 1 to right there to this moment, this episode, in just some weeks, I can really see this evolution, and that's such an important and interesting part of the show and of Uhtred. I love that, I really love that. And I admire also the way that the writers are doing it, like it's really subtle, it's really well done, well written, it's really little by little, it's really well done. I don't know if you paid attention to that when you watch the show, but I am, and I love that. I said it a lot? No. They need to stop to mention Alfred and to have moments, sweet moments between Edward and Etherstan. I'm not dealing with these moments well, you know. Each time that they are saying that they are doing that for Alfred's dream to unite England and that they want to respect Alfred's legacy, I can't deal with that well. I loved his character too much. I love that because that's a good way to honor him, Alfred, his legacy and this character, but that's hard for me. I'm not ready to handle that well. Maybe I will be, you know, into the next season, because I'm gonna have one entire year, you know, before having the next season, so maybe I'm gonna have time to mourn him, but right now it's too soon for me to not cry when they're mentioning him. And I love that Edward was nice with Etherstan during this episode, because it disappointed me a little during the last one. Even if I understood everything that he did, I told you about it during my intro, all of the reasons for why he was acting like that, Edward, and I understood that, but I'm glad that during this episode he was nice. I'm glad also that Earthswift, she's gonna take care of Esselstyn, she's gonna repair her fault, you know, with him because of that. That for her part, you know, to take care of Esselstyn, that's a way for her to feel less guilty about what she did, but that's also great for Esselstyn because this is a protector that he needs, clearly. I'm glad. And this is gonna be also a way to teach to Esselstyn who was Alfred, what is his legacy. That's gonna be great. I don't think that we're gonna see it really, but that's great for him. I'm glad. Okay, I'm gonna stop this review right now. I'm gonna take a little break to eat and then I will be back to watch the final episodes of this season 4. That's gonna be on another day for you and in just some minutes for me. So it's all for you for today and it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Hey.